I'm doing another shoe review here, and today we're going to be talking about the Salomon uh, S-Lab Sense. And this is a shoe that I'm really excited about and got to use for a number of different races this summer. And it really is probably the best shoe that I've had, or trail shoe that I've had to date. And so really excited about the shoe, and I think it's just pretty much almost an ideal shoe as far as what I've been looking for a trail shoe, particularly for doing trail racing. So the backstory with the Salomon S-Lab Sense is that when Kilian Jornet, one of the Salomon sponsored runners, ran Western States 100 a few years ago, wanted to, after he got done racing, he wanted to work with Salomon to find a shoe that's going to be a little lighter weight and going to drain water away a little better and a couple other features. So he really worked with them to develop a shoe specifically for him and specifically for this race. And so what they came up with was the Salomon S-Lab Sense, and it is a really nice shoe. It is a lightweight, roughly 7 ounces, and so very lightweight. It's almost like a racing flat for a marathon racing flat, but it provides a lot of different features that are really necessity when you're out on the trail, especially doing some more technical trails like we have up here in the Midwest. So the the first thing about this shoe is that it really you notice how light it is and the feel of it. And so when you first try them on, it has a great feel. It feels like a really nice racing flat. And even running around the store or running on flat pavement, it really feels like a great shoe from a fit and feel. And that's one thing that jumped out at me right when I tried it on. So a couple things to notice as well. It has this quick lace system as well. That's really nice, especially if you're having to take your shoe off and if there gets something in it, you can lace it and unlace it really quickly. One thing to note too is that I don't know if you can see it very well, but the shoe has a really snug fit right here on the top of the foot. And when you're putting the shoe on, it actually it's almost difficult to get your shoe inside or your foot inside of the shoe just because of the tight fit around the top part of your foot. But there's actually a lot of room up in the toe box, and you have obviously have to get the right size, but you have a lot of room and for your toes in that toe box, especially if you're doing longer runs where your feet can swell. It's nice to have that kind of roominess within the toe box. One thing I was concerned about with this shoe, just because it is such a lightweight shoe, is the protection and the durability. And first off, the protection from on just that kind of the toe box, as far as hitting rocks or just hitting things with your toe, is actually pretty good. This is a pretty hard piece of plastic right on the very tip of the shoe, and actually does a pretty good job if you kick rocks or roots, which I often do when I'm out on the trail. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. Another issue that I deal with personally is going down hills. My foot, when it's in the shoe, if there's a really tight toe box, I'll break, and my shoe will my foot will jam up into the toe box, and not really hard because I'm not going down the hill necessarily too fast, or too hard. But after a number of miles, especially in the ultra distance, your feet can get pretty banged up from that braking motion of going downhill. So this has a lot of room within the toe box that really helps, and that really snug fit on the top of your foot really helps to prevent your toes from jamming into the front of the shoe. So that's a feature that I think is really nice. Another nice feature about this is really the kind of the lugs, and the bottom of the shoe has a lot of grip on it. As you can see, there's not a really aggressive lug on there. There's not a lot of big cleats coming out of here, but it really grips the trail well. You can't probably tell too much, but this is a really kind of soft, flexible rubber, and it really works well to grip rocks and roots and different items on the trail, or just the terrain on the trail really well. So even though it doesn't have an aggressive lug, it has a really good traction and grip as far as going on the trails and running over rocks, roots, and loose gravel and whatnot. It was made to drain really well. That was one feature that Killian specified when they were making the shoe. So the upper mesh here, as well as just in the shoe in general, it's made to drain really well. So if you do get it wet, and I haven't got it super wet where I've really had to have a lot of issues with water, but it does drain really well when I have gotten it a little wet. The fit inside you can't really see too well, but it actually has a what Salomon calls their endo fit, which is a lining, or the way that they structure the lining so you can actually have a sockless shoe. And so a lot of what Killian wanted when he was running was a sockless shoe, which a lot of triathletes wear, and you can actually do that with this. And I've done it a little bit. I just prefer to have socks on, specifically on the trails. So I haven't done a whole lot of running with it without socks, but when I have it, it actually works well. You don't really have too many hot spots or any issues with it, but I guess I just have a preference to wear socks. The last little bit of it is there is about a 4 millimeter drop is from the heel to the forefront, so there's a little bit of a difference as far as within the heel to the forefoot, but very minimal drop. It's not a true zero drop shoe. And the last part that's kind of interesting is what they've done is have a really flexible, it's called a TPU film or a mesh that is similar to what some cell phone cases are made out of. It's a very kind of durable material that will really help as far as stepping on any rocks, roots, or any sharp objects. You can feel a fair amount of them if you step on a sharp rock or something like that, but it provides pretty good protection. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it does provide some pretty good protection as far as stepping on different objects or rocks and roots when you're out on the trail. So all in all, this is a fantastic shoe. It's probably my favorite trail shoe that I've purchased to date. So the pros are really just the different features of it. It has a great feel, has that sockless feature, and the endo fit, as Salomon calls it. It's a very lightweight shoe, and really can be used from, you could use it on the road, but can use it for a 5K trail race all the way up into an ultra distance for 100 miles or so. It has the durability to hold up for that type of distance as well, but because it's a lightweight shoe, you can really use it for a lot of shorter races. And just the feel of it, running on all sorts of terrains, and the lightweight or minimal features to the shoe, but also having a lot of protection while you're out on the trail, or the protection that you need when you're out on the trail, is definitely a plus. Some of the drawbacks, really, or the one real drawback that I really found on it, is the price. It's listed for $200 retail, and so it is not something that you can most people can afford to buy a lot of, or some people won't even justify buying one, which it was very tough for me to do. But I'm using it just primarily as a racing race day shoe, so hopefully I get quite a few races out of it, but it is very limited. The other drawback really is the amount of miles that it is rated for. It is rated by Salomon for about 250 miles, which is about 85 cents a mile if you want to justify it that way, which is not very good. But there is people that have listed getting over 500 miles on the shoe, so I'm hoping I'll get a little more miles out of them, but it is not a shoe that you're gonna be able to use for a lot of miles, or in 2-minute races. It does have a limited lifespan as far as that goes, but all in all, a very good shoe. I think the only drawbacks really for me on the shoe is just the price point and the limited amount of miles you get out of it, especially for how expensive it is. So, but all in all, I think this is a great shoe for a race day shoe, and can do a number of different things, or a number of different distances on trails. So I think this is a fantastic shoe. I definitely recommend it. And hopefully the price will come down over the next couple of years or so here, and it'll be a little bit more affordable. But I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a great shoe for anyone that's looking to do any type of trail racing, especially if they're wanting to get a lighter weight shoe. So highly recommend this shoe.